And we got 2 minutes till we got our next game, which is the Natural Born Thrillers taking on Gas City Inferno out of Medicine Hat. Natural Born Thrillers are one of our host teams here with Chinook City Roller Derby. Get off the couch and get into your skates. Visit www.chinookcity.ca. Your rosters for this game. Skating in black for the Natural Born Thrillers. We got 083 She-Hulk, 101 Craftermath, 180 April Sowers, 22 Bradass, 259 Nemesis, 27 Murderous Muffin, 640 Cinderfella, 710 Peacemaker, 747 Wrecker, 909 Masquerade, 911 Wolfblade Jr., 934 Hermione Danger, and 9-7 Doves and Roses. Skating in blue or white for Gas City. Pull up their roster here for those online. Your Gas City skaters are 00 Dodger Balls, 002 Panic, 1116 Chris My Ass, 14 Bashan Bindi, 15 Everton, 24 Russian, 29 Sorry Not Sorry. I do believe that's Sari Not Sorry. 41 Amigacha, 44 Hawabunga, 5 K Slamya, 58 Smash, 681 Executioner, 696 Yummy Mummy, 814 Carnage Queen, and 840 Haven. Lining up on his jam line, the Full Mobility Chiropractic jam line, is Bradass. Full Mobility Chiropractic. And he will be jamming against, looks like, Everton. I believe that's Everton. Can't quite see them behind Jen. Yeah, we're just about ready for roller derby. Our jam line sponsored by Full Mobility Chiropractic. Your pivot line is sponsored by Bad Girlfriend Skate Shop. Your penalty box sponsor is Genuine. Your scoreboard announcements are brought to you by Youth Singers Calgary and Men's Roller Derby Association Championship taking place in Salem, Oregon. The streaming services are brought to you by Stream Systems. What happened? Why the YouTube screen go black? There we go. Now I'm in the live chat for this game. I do have the live chat up on my phone, so if you have any questions there watching on YouTube at home, feel free to fire them off and I can answer them for you. Yeah, there are a lot of juniors skating or ex-junior skating like that have aged out. Were juniors last year that I can just tell off the top of my head. Everton, Amigacha, Howabunga, K-Slam, Executioner. A lot of skaters have actually made Team Canada Juniors either in the past or current. But the Thrillers have a couple of their own. They do have She-Hulk, April Sowers, and Most Grade, who are all Team Canada Juniors. April actually made both the Team Canada adult and women, or adult, women's, and junior teams. They will not be going to Switzerland with the women's team. They're on the developmental side, but they will be going to Australia. We have a slight delay here. We should be starting any minute. Skaters for our next game. Coming up on this track after this game, we do have the Eves of Destruction taking on High Altitude, followed at 3 o'clock by Jane Deere. The Jane Deere is taking on Team Northern BC. And to close out the day, we got, or the day and the weekend, we got the Calgary All-Stars taking on Fight Club. Speaking out of aged out juniors, Fight Club is a mostly aged out juniors team. Currently over on track 1 or 2, about to start, we have Team Ontario taking it on Avalanche City. At 1:15, we have Saskatoon taking on the Crude Assassins. At 3:15, we have the Windy City Wipeouts taking on Calgary Junior Roller Derby. And at 5:15, we have Saskatoon taking on this same very Medicine Hat team that's playing right now. Or at least a version of it. Brad Ass taking the rolling start. Both jammers are on. Everton almost had a hole on the inside. Brad Ass with a little swim move, able to secure lead on the outside. And Everton gets through as well. With both Brad Ass and Everton out on the track today, expect to see at least one apex jump this week in this game. One apex jump with a sprawling call off from the stomach or the back. Most Great now going to be jamming for the Thrillers. Chris My Ass is jamming for Gas City. And Most Great gets lead jam. And I see there is an extra skater here. Reaper is on track for the National Born Thrillers, who is not on the roster. Mo scores 4 and calls off that jam. We got an official timeout. April Sauer is going to be hitting that jam line. Going to be going up against Dodger. Officials still finishing sorting stuff out. And there we go. We do have Reaper and Peacemaker added to the roster for the Thrillers. They were missing 2 skaters from their initial lineup. The officials have sorted that all out. Cinderfella starting in the Genuine's penalty box. April Sowers comes through, gets a no pass, no point. Dodge are able to stay up and inbounds and gets lead jam. April, no pass, no point on that outside corner, so they were able to get out first but did not secure lead. You have to pass all the skaters standing inbounds. We got Carnage Queen now going to be jamming for Gas City and Masquerade. Going to be jamming for the Thrillers. Mo pushing Carnage Queen to the outside, playing full defense. Possibly waiting for Cinderfella to come back on track. Carnage Queen falls. Mo able to take advantage of that and gets lead. Pack is moving at a pretty decent pace. Mo's coming around. Lines up Executioner. Gets past, sprawls on the ground, calls off the jam. Carnage Queen was able to sneak 1 point in there. Mo picked up 2. Brings your score to 8-1. Haven's going to be the jammer for Gas City, and Brad Ass for the Natural Born Thrillers. Brad Ass through on the outside with some spins. Bumped a little bit a couple times. Brad Ass chased there on the outside. That is Case Lamia hunting them down. Ami Gotcha now has the star. That's a low block penalty to assess to Brad Ass, so that means we'll be skating for the 2 minutes. Wolf Blade trying his best to slow down Ami Gotcha, but can't. Ami now officially the jammer for Gas City. Ami pushed by Dev. Looking for that hole. Can almost find it. Is knocked out. Hands on the hips, but can't tap. Bradas is back on the track. And gets through for 4. We gotcha. Just a little tired. Cycled back by Dev. Another jump on the inside corner there by Brad Ass. Brad trying to push their way through. Takes Clay Slam you down as they go. Able to put up 19 on that jam. We now have an official timeout. Gonna sort some more stuff out. Got that track fixed. On that first corner, we got a little bit of some damage to the track. We got our 30-second whistle. Everton is going to be jamming against April Sowers. Everton playing a little bit of defense, knocking April Sowers back. Well, April Sowers cycles back. Everton tries to break through and does, gets lead. But April shortly behind, giving chase. April straddling that inside line. Everton skates past a couple skaters. Picks up 3. April picks up 1. Able to close that gap just a little bit. 28-7. So far, our genuine penalty box has been relatively empty. Lining up on our jam line, or our full mobility chiropractic jam line, we got Chris Mayas and Moscarade. Chris Mayas just has to get past Bradass. Bradass knocks them out, but able to get back in before they get cycled back. Moscarade almost got through, stopped by Howabunga. Slowed enough. Sometimes you don't need to stop him, you just need to slow him enough to get your jammer some space. Chris able to sneak through. Scores a couple. Every little bit helps. Dodger now going out. This is going to be Wolfblade Jr.'s first jam of the day. Both jammers hitting that solid pack of skaters. And Dodger able to get through first. But he did take a cut, so that is a cut call on Dodger. He will go to the genuine penalty box and feel shame. That gives Wolfblade Jr. lead jam. We got multiple families playing in this game. I'll run through them at the next timeout. Wolfblade Jr. comes up on the pack, is trying to get their way through. Held back, calls off that jam. This is almost like the generational roller derby game. April Sowers on the line. Dodger balls. Starting this jam in the box. We'll keep that star on because they can still get lead. April was able to get past a couple skaters and secure lead. And April being chased by Dodger. Dodger's actually making up some ground on April. The pack is moving fast. April able to get past Smash. Nope, they did get past Smash and scored 1 point. That's the first point the Thrillers have gotten in the last 3 jams. Bradass now going to be jamming against Everton. We've seen this. This was our opening jam. Bradass looking for a hole on the inside. Is knocked to the outside by Panic. Giving Everton a bit of a lead on him. Everton coming through on the inside. Just has to get past Nemesis, Wrecker, and Peacemaker, and does. Scores 4 and calls it. At the end of that jam, Bindi is going off for a forearm call. Wolfblade Jr. now going to be jamming against Carnage Queen. Just over 19 minutes left in this half. 13-37 is your score. Howabunga tries to get in Wolfblade's way, but Wolfblade able to jump over them. No pack call there. Howabunga throws a hit a little bit late, so that is a Genuine yelling at Crafter Math that they have taken a penalty. Sending him to the Genuine sending a penalty to the Genuine penalty box. Carnage Queen lost their star, have picked it up now. Wolfie looking for more points. Most Great came in there, caught the side of Amigacha. Wolfblade able to put up 12 on that jam, brings the score to 49-13. Chris my ass now on that full mobility chiropractic jammer line. We'll only have to contend with 2 blockers for Natural Born Thrillers. And makes short work of that pack, but so does April. Chris My Ass is playing for a whole bunch of teams this weekend. And I do believe Chris My Ass has the highest scoring jam of the weekend so far. I believe Chris My Ass put up 29 points yesterday against the Crude Assassins playing for Medicine Hat. We had a couple skaters get close, but not quite to that 29. Haven now going to be jamming again for Inferno. Mo going again for the Thrillers. Mo held back there by Howabunga. Howabunga fast enough they're able to get back in front of him. And Haven gets lead jam. Haven chased down by Mo. Calls off that jam before either player can get any points. When you score as many or more than the other team, 2 zeros is better than 1 for them and none for you. Wolfblade Jr. going to be jamming against Dodger Balls. And Wolfie is through and gets lead. There's a cut call on Dodger. That's going to be put Wolfblade on a power jam. And with Howabunga in the box as well for Gas City. Howabunga comes back into play. Lines up Wolfie, but couldn't quite hit him. Wolfie with those quick transitions back and forth. Coming back on the pack. Scores 4. Being told the jammer's back in. I do believe that was Dodger's initial pass. Executioner goes for a hit on Wolfblade. Wasn't able to quite make contact, but knocked him enough that Wolfie had to call off that jam. Everton now coming up against April Sowers. Both jammers are trying to push their way through. That's a forearm call on April Sowers. That's going to put Everton on a power jam. Everton comes back on the pack. That's Murderous Muffin and Craftermath. Everton able to stay up in bounds. Gets low and spins on Dev. It's put up 4, looking for more, hoping to close this gap. It's a big gap to close. Gives Peacemaker a little how you doing? And through. April is out of the box. Chris giving Everton the signal that April still has not made their initial pass. April finishes their initial pass. Everton, a little slip, but does finish off that pass for 12. Puts the Inferno at 25-62 for the Thrillers. Most Greg coming back out. Gonna be jamming against Carnage Queen. Both jammers are jockeying for position. Mo has a line on the inside, but gets taken away by Executioner. And that is a cut call on Carnage Queen. That gives Mo both lead and a power jam. Black, the Natural Born Thrillers moving a little too much. The bench yelling for them to stop. Bodies fall. Mo on the ground. Amigachi just asking, or making sure they're okay. Mo pulls a little Jersey whip off of Wrecker. Mo opts to call off that jam instead of skating back. Carnage Queen will be your jammer record for the Inferno, starting this one in the box. Your jammer for Natural Born Thrillers is going to look past the track, and you see Brad, and we got an official timeout. While they sort stuff out, just off the top of my head that I know for sure, Yummy Mummy and Executioner are mother-daughter. Bash and Bindi, Amigacha, Howabunga, and K-Slamia are a family. On the Thrillers, we got She-Hulk and Cinderfella. Peace is one father and child. Then we got Peacemaker and April Sowers, mother and child. Murderous Muffin doesn't have Cupcake work it playing. And I thought there was one more. Maybe not. Maybe not. I kind of know Derby fans, but don't really know them, so. Reaper going to be starting this jam in the box. Looks like they were assessed a penalty at the end of that jam. Spending some time in the genuine penalty box. Pack moving back. Saving a little bit of time. Brad is looking for the hole. Pushes that pack to the limit. But Howabunga does take a penalty right at the end there. They were out of play. That no pack call got called, and they did throw that extra hit. And now Cinderfella's going to the box. Chris Myas has taken the star for the Inferno. Wolfblade Jr. getting in there. Making some room. Holding off the Russians so Bradass can get on the outside. Dodger Ball's now going to be jamming for the Inferno. And April Sowers for the Thrillers. Our next time out, we'll take a quick glance at the penalties for each team. See where we stand. Dodger bouncing off some skaters. That is Crafter Masked and Murderous Muffin. That is an illegal procedure on Murderous Muffin, I believe. Cinderfella has cleared that genuine power penalty box. Now the board says Howabunga is in the box, but Howabunga is not in the box. That is a different skater. That is Russian, I believe, in the box. Or Carnage Queen. Because Howabunga is wearing pink shorts. Everton. Nice little jump on the apex there in the middle. Able to land on their toes. Scores 4. But Most Great able to sneak 3 points in before the end of that jam. Brings our score to 77-33. Always nice. Fatal just had to show me a picture of Everton jumping that apex. I can't wait to see that on Facebook later. Fatal Fantasy, one of our official photographers here at Flat Track Fever. For all your roller derby photography needs, for all your photography needs of any kind, I suggest you contact Fatal Fantasy. And they are super fast for getting the photos up today too, so it would not surprise me if by like 3 or 4 hours after this tournament ends that Fatal Fantasy's photos will be up on Facebook for at least one of the games. April Sowers. Your jammer jamming against Haven. Haven is pushing on that pack, trying their best to get through. Held back by Craftermath, Nemesis, and Hermione Danger. And April able to get through and secure lead. Took a little bit longer than they were hoping at 22 seconds. April knocked out by Howabunga, but Howabunga just barely went out, so April knew they didn't have to cycle back. April picks up the full 4. Haven not quite able to make it to the pack to score any points, so they will be going away with 0. Natural Born Tiller is just over double the Inferno score, sitting at 80-34. Our jam has started. Mo is on, has lead. Jamming against Carnage Queen. Carnage Queen giving chase. Yeah, Mo gets knocked down, calls off, but they did get 4 points before they were able to call it off. I'll just ask Bell there on YouTube, did I miss any of the family combos for this game? I don't think I did. Brad asking me jamming against Dodger balls. And Dodger balls is through and gets lead. Bradass slowed a little bit by Howabunga. Right behind was Bradass, so Dodger calls off that jam. Everton going to be jamming against April Sowers. Both jammers will be looking for a position on the line. The full mobility chiropractic jam line. And Everton chases April. April might be able to beat Everton in a foot race, but better safe than sorry, calls off that jam. 50-point deficit. Natural Born Thriller is 84-34 for the Inferno, and I did get all the parents and kids. It's close because there could be other parents and kids, like Cupcake's not playing, so Muffin's kid isn't playing. And Riceball's not playing, so Brada says Dad's not playing. Chris Mayas almost gets through on the outside, knocked out by Mo. But Wolfblade Jr. is going to the box for a penalty. Chris just has to get past Bradass and does. That was a cut call there on Wolfblade. Chris coming back around, looking for some points now. Let me get some. That's a high block on Dev. Chris is getting a little bit too low and caught Chris a little bit high. That's what happens when you sometimes when you try and hit these lower skaters. When you're tall and the skater's shorter. There's an illegal contact penalty on Chris. I do believe they made contact with someone while they were out of play. That means we are skating for the full 2 minutes. Luckily, there's only 1 minute left in the jam. Just under 3 minutes left in this half. Howabunga cycled back by Bradass. Wolfblade able to put up 4. Looking for a few more. Should have enough time for one more pass, maybe 2. And there's 1. Just under 20 seconds. And Wolfblade taken out by Dev. We'll pop up the roster here quick. Does that cover? Perfect. Oh, okay. Bindy's got a 4th kid involved in this game, who's bench coaching. And Wolfie is up. While this timeout is happening, we'll give a quick scan at the penalties here. Your penalties currently sitting for the Thrillers. No one close to penalty trouble. Your penalties here for Gas City. Howabunga, not surprisingly, sitting at 3. Howabunga does play a hard game, so they do take a few penalties. April Sowers, that's Musgrade. April Sowers holding up Carnage Queen, who did get lead jam. Most Great giving chase. And Carnage Queen calls off that jam as Mo is just slightly ahead in that foot race. Bradass going to be jamming against Haven. And where jam is on, Haven hits that pack. They're being held up there by Wrecker. But able to get through and gets lead jam on Bradass again. This is the second time I do believe Haven has secured lead jam against Bradass. There's an illegal procedure call on Wrecker. We should have time for one more jam. Bradass will be jamming against April Sowers. There's not a Bradass and April Sowers on the same team. Dodger Balls will be jamming against April Sowers. This should be the last jam of our first half. April Sowers hoping to get the Thrillers over the 100-point mark for this game. Dodger just hoping to close some of this gap. And April gets through and is now on their scoring pass. Dodgers cycled back by Dev. Dev with a solid hit there. Knocks Dodger down. Russian with a solid hit there on April, but went down themselves. April able to stay up. Scores 4 to put them over the century mark. Bench yelling for April to call it. April does. And at halftime, we got a score of 103 for the Natural Born Thrillers, 39 for the Inferno. And after that little 10-minute halftime, we are back. Right before the game here, we will quickly show our points per jam, let you know how the teams are doing overall over the course. And then after that, we'll kick into your penalty summary for the first half. Showing the folks at home, no one on the Thrillers close to being in trouble. Gas. Oh, I was wrong one. There we go. Where's 2? There's 2. There's 2. There we go. There's your penalty board for Gas City. Coming back, your jammer will be April Sowers. Jamming against Executioner. This is Executioner's first jam of the day. That's pretty funny. We got Bashabindia with Amigacha, Howabunga, and K Slamya. That's a full family line and Executioner. Jam is on, and Executioner able to secure lead. April Sowers just ahead of Executioner. Oh, Waka. Executioner's fighting to get their way through. And it looks like there's a penalty assist to K Slamya. They will be headed to the box. Executioner tapping their hits, calling off that jam. Both jammers did get 4 points. Let me swing back into the chat here. I'll just let Smash know out there playing today that it is Blunt Soaked out there cheering you on from North Carolina on the YouTube channel. Masquerade is through, gets lead against Everton. Everton fighting to keep in and does. Just gets past Dev. Mo blasts through. Speaking of Smash, is knocked down by Smash. Knocked out by Smash and calls off that jam. It's like they knew we were talking about them. I don't think they can actually hear anything out on the track. Or just barely. You pick up odd words here or there. Brad Ass going to be jamming against Chris My Ass. We've seen this jam a few times. And Brad is quickly out in lead. Chris chased by April, but able to get through that pack. Bindi is now out of the box for Inferno. Lines up Brad. Brad knocked out by Case Lamia. Calls the jam off from the ground. Just want to make jam ref making sure who all Brad passed to score a proper amount of points. Brad picked up 2 before they called off that jam. Dodger going to be jamming against Wolfblade Jr. Wolfblade Jr. able to hop around on the inside track there. He'll get past. Dodger able to just sneak past Cinderfella on the outside. Pack moving a little bit fast, stops at that apex. Wolfblade knocked by Executioner. Spins around after calling 3 and calls off that jam. Actually, more family relations. We got Rice Ball is actually bench coaching Brad Ass. And Bender, who is April Sauer's father and Peacemaker's husband. And then we also have Pay the Pain, who is Wolfblade's sister. Masquerade almost gets through, but is knocked out by Howabunga. That gives Everton a chance to secure lead. Almost has a full lap now on Mo. Mo looks... And Everton comes in too hot. Hits... that was Murder's Muffin from behind. Takes a back block call. That's going to put Mo on a power jam. But it also means we're skating for the full 2 minutes. 2-minute jams. Everyone's favorite. There's a directional now on Murderous Muffin. Mo runs into Howabunga. Tries to get a whip there from Wrecker, but can't quite. Slowed a little bit by Howabunga, and Howabunga's now taking a high block call. We're a minute in. Everton hit out by Dev, but because Dev went down, they did not have to cycle back. A down skater is actually considered an out-of-play skater. Everton with a quick little head fake and bean dip to get past Dev. Both jammers have put up 4. We got Everton's put up 7 so far. Because you don't score points for out-of-play skaters. A big hit. Everton trying to pound their way through and does. But did take a cut on that play. That means Everton will be your jammer of record for the next jam, as they will not get to the box before the end of their penalty time. Howabunga able to dodge that hit by Dev. 1 point was scored right before the end of that jam for Mo to put them at 13 for that jam. I think they're missing that one. And 10 points for Everton. Brings your score to 129 to 53. And if you were here yesterday, you got to see Wolfblade Jr. get pie smashed in their face, too. Killerfish is not playing in this game unless they have a different name that they go by. And a cut track penalty is assessed to April Sowers. That will release Everton from the box. But that also means Everton can still secure lead jam. And they do. And Everton actually takes a high block. So that means we are going to have a 2-minute jam. And that will also release April from the box. As April and Everton will only sit for as long as April just sat for their penalty. I think that might have been a directional call on Nemesis. Let's see if it'll show me on the... Nope, they're off. They're not showing up on my thing. April is back out. Jammer on. Everton dips around the outside. Braddock's able to get to the front of the pack. Not able to slow Everton down. That was Everton's initial pass. So this is their first scoring pass. A nice little hop on the inside for a quick 4. Everton tries to get through. We got another penalty assessed right at the end there. Bindi going to the box. Bindi and Nemesis starting this jam in the box. That was a multiplayer there on Bindi at the end of that jam. Nemesis took a... And we're back. Dodger balls. Your jammer against Wolfblade. And that is a cut call on Wolfblade Jr. And Dodger quickly goes through the outside there past She-Hulk, Cinderfella, and Craftermath. And Cinderfella able to catch enough of Dodger to cycle them back. Dodger came in a little bit early, so he was able to correct that bounce out. Gets past that pack for 4 more points. Trying to close some of this 70-point gap. Dodger able to stay up and in, scores 4, so a total of 12 on that jam. Brings your score to 71 to 133. Reducing that lead to 62. Carnage Queen now back on the track, going to be jamming against Masquerade. Those skaters definitely feel shame when they go to the genuine penalty box. Masquerade able to secure lead against Carnage Queen. That might have been a forearm, I think, on Reaper. 4 points for Mo. Hoping to rebuild up on this lead that they had just lost part of. Peacemaker taken down by Mexicutioner. Carnage Queen with a little fake star pass, able to sneak past Murderous Muffin. Mo calls off that jam after putting up a total of 8 on that jam to bring the score to 141 to 71. We got Bradass going to be jamming against Chris My Ass. We've seen this jam a few times today. I think we've seen it a few times this weekend. Chris My Ass is out through first. I do believe Chris My Ass jammed against Bradass in day 1 when they played All-Stars versus the Glenmar Reservoir Dogs. Chris through. Picks up 3 and calls it off. Keeps Brad to 0. Dodger now coming out against Wolfblade Jr. Still a lot of time left in this game. I have seen 70-point leads evaporate. Well, both teams have been doing pretty solid. Wolfblade does secure lead jam, but Dodger is giving chase. Wolfblade slides around on the outside. And Wolfblade takes a penalty. That is a skating out of bounds call. So the ref called that Wolfblade skated out of bounds to avoid that hit from Executioner. That is not allowed in Derby. So that is a penalty. And Wolfie will be starting this next jam in the genuine penalty box. Which means I'm not sure what just happened here. It looks like there might have been another penalty there. Everything will be starting on a power jam. Teams are lining up and getting ready. Everton trying to get through. Does manage to sneak through on that inside corner against Bradass and Dev. Gets that lead jam status. Both Howabunga and Wolfblade standing up, getting ready to come out of that box. Yes, Gen did sponsor the penalty box, so Genuine gets to send people to the Genuine penalty box. Genuine has actually sponsored both penalty boxes on both tracks. Wolfblade Jr. was out of bounds when he did that jump. Is taking a cut, but Everton takes a cut as well. That means Wolfie will sit down. Everton will sit down. Wolfie will sit. Wolfie will be released, and Everton will sit just as long as Wolfie just sat. And it looks like Wolfie came in behind 2 teammates, so it takes another cut call. And this means there's a penalty going to Dev. As Jen sends him to the Genuine penalty box. I'll let you in here, Phil. I just move over one. Everton is through. Trying to get past Bradass and does. Sitting at 12 now and counting. Looking for more. Wolfblade finishes their initial pass as the end of the jam hits. Everton able to put up a total of 12, brings the score to 86, 143 for the Natural Born Thrillers. Genuine actually sponsored the penalty box on both tracks, track 1 and track 2. And we got a timeout here called by Gas City. Inferno hoping to get some stuff in gear. Don't forget, after this game at 1 o'clock, we will have the Eves of Destruction taking on High Altitude Roller Derby. Then at 3 o'clock, we got the Jane Deers taking on Team Northern BC. And then to close out the day, we got the Calgary Roller Derby All-Stars taking on Fight Club. Your pivot line is sponsored by Bad Girlfriend Skate Shop. Your scoreboard announcements are the Youth Singers of Calgary and Men's Roller Derby Association Championship taking place in Salem, Oregon. Streaming is brought to you by Stream Systems. Still have a chance to check out all of our fantastic vendors for those of you that are in attendance. Get your swag. All the teams and other people will be appreciative. No one wants to bring a whole bunch of stuff home. And we're coming back. That is our opening whistle. Chris Moyass jamming against Masquerade. Chris Moyass almost through. Just had to get past April and comes back in and does. Secures lead. Masquerade is giving chase. Chris yelling for their team to go. Chris ducks and dives around. He'll get past 3 skaters. They got past 2, but once they passed that first skater, they scored the point for Dev in the box. Brings Inferno to 89. The Thriller sitting at 143. April Sowers jamming against Dodger balls. Dodger taking a little bit of a run. April starting on that full mobility chiropractic jam line. Some bodies are falling. There's a penalty to Yummy Mummy. Nemesis gives Dodger chase, but gets pulled to the out of play, so they can't stop them. April Sowers being chased by Dodger. The bench was yelling for them to call it, but they did not quite call it in time, so now they tell them to keep going. April spins around, tries to get those hips past at least one skater. They do get them past 2. Oh, 1, because Yummy Mummy was in the box. Our score now 149 to 93. Do you have a pen? And our jam is on. This is now Wolfblade Jr. now going again against Carnage Queen. Wolfblade quickly able to secure lead. Carnage Queen takes a star off. Able to sneak through on that inside line and stay in bounds. Wolfie scores 4 and calls it off. And do a quick glance at the penalties. Just see, I thought that was the way it was. We've got 11 minutes left. Chris Moyass jamming against April Sowers. April Sowers able to sneak through first. Going to be chased by Chris Moyass. After this game, we will have most valuable players for the Natural Born Thrillers handed out. Chris with the sprawling somersault. I don't know if April knew that Chris fell down, so they got 1 point and called off that jam. The worst part about that phantom blocker is you can never see them, and they hit you when you're not least expecting it. Dodger balls. Going to be jamming against Bradass. Bradass takes that rolling start. Rolls up to that full mobility chiropractic jam line. And takes off. And Bradass is through with lead. Dodger still looking for that initial pass, being held by Murderous Muffin and Nemesis. And manages to get through. Bradass tries to quickly spin around. Tries to spin past Executioner, but is not able to actually pass while inbound, so no points. Masquerade going to be jamming against Haven. Haven actually had some success and actually got lead twice against Bradass in the first half. They're hoping for some more of that success in this second half against Masquerade. Just surprising whenever you see someone else get lead on Bradass. Haven come around, Mo on their first scoring pass. Quickly through on the outside. A little bit of stumble. Amigacha gets up. A little bit of a smile on their face. April Sauer is going to be jamming against Everton. 8.5 minutes left. April tried to grab Crafter after try and whip them around. Use them for some stability. Got to be careful not to grab another skater from the other team. You can grab your own skater with your form. You can't grab a skater from the... You can grab a skater from your team. You can't grab a skater from the other team. I've seen it fairly often this weekend of teams whipping off the jerseys of their own skaters. April pushed out by Smash. And Everton gets through on their first scoring pass, has scored 4. April chasing them down. Everton trying to slow April down. Makes April work for it and then calls off that jam. Rangers scored a 97 to 162. Bradass now with a rolling start. Going to be your jammer going against Dodger balls. Bradass able to gut through on the inside, staying in bounds. Dodger just has to get past Dev and does. Nemesis came to help out but couldn't quite keep Dodger out. Bradass pushing on that pack. Calls off that jam. Dodger didn't get any, but Brad was able to pick up 3. Brings the score to 165 to 97. $68-point difference. Wolfblade Jr. now going to be jamming against Chris My Ass. Our jam has started. Chris My Ass pushed to the edge. Wolfblade Jr. as well. Wolfblade cycled back by Executioner. Something got stuck on Wolfblade's skate, and they take it off. And Chris with lead. Getting chased by Wolfblade Jr. Chris My Ass bouncing off skaters. Reaper tried to hit Chris and realized it's pretty hard to knock Chris off their skates the hard way. And that puts Gas City over 100 points to triple digits. Carnage Queen going to be jamming against April Sowers. Just slightly over 5 minutes left. Carnage Queen is through as lead. Carnage hoping to open this up a little bit. Carnage calls it off. They were able to get 2 points as Hermione and Peacemaker were both out. April got 1. Bradass jamming against Everton. Well, Jammers are looking for their hole, and Bradass does find it. Everton pushing their way through. Runs into Dev, bounces off Dev. Tried to be stopped by Nemesis, but can't quite. Bradass watching to see where Everton is. Taps the hips, a call off that jam. 3.5 minutes left. We got a score of 170 to 102. Haven coming out, jamming against Masquerade. Mo quickly through on the outside. Wolfblade Jr. able to knock Haven out. Cycles them part of the way back. Cinderfella catches Haven. Almost knocked out by able to stay in bounds. Howabunga tried their best to knock Cinderfella out. Cinderfella with a little how you doing to Haven again. What is Sorry Not Sorry? There's also a Sorry Not Sorry playing this weekend. Mo coming back through the pack, looking for some space. And we now have a star pass, and Case Slimy is now your jammer for Inferno. Getting real low. Able to stay in bounds and dodge those hits by Cinderfella and Wrecker. Mo comes through and calls off that jam. Able to put up 16. After this game, we do have most valuable blocker and most valuable jammer that will be handed out to the Natural Born Thrillers skaters. The Medicine Hat Inferno will have to wait till the last game of the day when they play Saskatoon while they will get theirs. It'll be their most valuable player determined for the weekend. And April gets through with lead against Dodger. Dodger able to stay. Nice track awareness. Bumped by Reaper. And April picks up a trio of points. 1 point for Dodger. Brings your score to 103 to 189. Shouldn't have enough time for one more jam. We got Wolfblade Jr. going to be jamming against Chris My Ass. Wolfblade Jr. almost able to make it through the outside, but Chris Mayass able to play some defense and cycle Wolfblade back. Chris Mayass getting another run. Hits that wall, Immersed Muffin, and Nemesis unable to blast their way through. MBT cheering for their team. Chris pops her hips to. Calls off that jam. Your unofficial score, Natural Born Thrillers 189, Inferno 106. Please wait for the rolling whistle that officially marks the game as over. And remember, after this game, we do have most valuable player badges going to your Natural Born Thrillers skaters. We'll see everyone back here at 1 o'clock to see the Ease of Destruction take on High Altitude Roller Derby.